So in the spirit of our communication, everybody's been introducing themselves a little bit more, and I feel like I should do that. And so very, very quickly, I'm a first-generation Asian American. My family hails from the land of India, and I was born there, moved to the United States. So I'm Indian by nature, but I have been raised in America. So I'm not quite American enough for America, yet I'm not Indian enough for my family, and so that's always been fun growing up. But I grew up pretty agnostic, had a pretty traumatic experience with my religion and with faith growing up, and that kind of shunned me to really disliking God and disliking any idea about Him growing up. About high school, I started attending church, and my idolatry of choice is people's approval and their affirmation of who I am. I need people to validate me, and so growing up, I kind of just became I became who everybody wanted me to be. And so the type of circles that I would roll in was the type of person that I would become. And so there was no surprise that when I started going to church, I started acting more like what church people acted like, because I thought, well, if this is what gives me validation here, here's what I'm going to pursue. I got really, really good at it. Jared was my youth pastor at the time, and he swore that he knew this. I don't think that he did. But I had gotten so good at pretending to be Christian that he asked me to be a youth leader to help other students have a relationship with Jesus. Meanwhile, I had none of that myself. And there was one retreat that I was at where I really wrestled with the gospel for the first time. Jesus transformed my life, and slowly but surely, my belief in Him turned into a life with Him, like what Stephanie said yesterday. And throughout my time, I was able to give up a lot for the sake of the gospel, as Jesus asked me to. 2 years into pre-med, God asked me to give that up. Right as I graduated, God asked me to give up a dream to go to seminary right away, and that kind of tails into what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. I just got married less than 2 months ago. It has been amazing. Yes, married life is fun, and it's really fun. And I love The Lion King. I swear it's the best movie. Yes, I've seen the live-action trailer. I see it just about every day. And it's still just as good every single day. And yes, it's live-action, but it's also animated, whatever. You can fight me about that later. And I don't believe that pineapples belong on pizza. So that is a little bit about who I am. Now, my credentials in all of this, I went to a secular university. I got plugged into an InterVarsity there, and I was serving in the youth and the young adult ministry at our church, which is Bethlehem Assembly of God in Valley Stream. And so my credentials for this may not be ones that satisfy you, but if I'm honest, I'd love to share more out of my experience and from the quotes and the knowledge of people that are much smarter than me that have been doing this a lot longer. And the way that I want to begin this is, I was here a couple of years ago, right as I was graduating with my bachelor's degree in philosophy, which I am not using. And I'm not using the paper, I'm using the knowledge. But I was here, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there was a very traumatic experience that happened for myself and the group that was with me here. And that led to a significant season of developing a theology of grieving for us, and a theology of really wrestling with God in the midst of some significant suffering. And what had happened a couple of weeks prior was that I had just filled out my applications to go to seminary. One of them, the application fee got waived, which is awesome because my bank account is struggling. And when I applied, I got into the seminary. They were kind of working things out for me, and I was convinced this is what God wanted me to do. I had been convinced that God had called me to ministry, and I loved where I was serving, and I loved what I was doing. I knew that my season in InterVarsity at Hunter College was ending, and so I had a feeling that God is just going to catapult me. Like, I'm not married yet, I don't have kids, this is the perfect season, this is the perfect time. God asked me to give up medicine to pursue ministry. Obviously, going to seminary is the next step for me. And 3 weeks later, we had this experience when we were here up in Syracuse, and what God spoke to me through that was, you can pursue a life understanding and gaining significant knowledge from seminary, and it'll be a good life, but that's not going to help you lead and love the people that are hurting right now. And so much of what I want to talk about is really just through the experience that I have had in leading and serving and loving and being frustrated with and being on my knees for young adults. And so the three things that I want to talk to you about in reaching and keeping young adults keeping them plugged in and keeping them engaged in your churches, in your organizations, in wherever you may be in a leadership context. The first one is to go to them, to go where they are. Like Stephanie shared yesterday, she was not looking for Christians. She was not looking for God. She was not looking for any excuse to be at a church. She was looking to satisfy the desires that were in her heart. Every young adult was the same. When I remind myself of where I was in that situation, I was not looking for God when he came and found me. There are a lot of young adults that gather in places where they just enjoy hanging out, and they need people like you to go after them. And so the way that you begin doing that is you begin asking, where do young adults hang out? You need to be within the proximity of them. In your bag that you got when you registered, there is a book called The Master Plan of Evangelism. Had it not been for Jesus of Theography, that is the book I would have picked. It's on my top 3 next to The Prodigal God by Tim Keller. And that book is so amazing that it's like stupid amazing. And if you've never read that book teaches you the way that Jesus made his discipleship team, the way that Jesus gave his life for his disciples and equipped them and trained them to disciple others. And the way that the book begins, it talks about the way that Jesus selected his disciples. And the way that Jesus selected his disciples was that he went to where they were. When it comes to reaching young adults, when it comes to finding young adults, you gotta go to where they're gathering. You gotta go to what they care about. You've got coffee shops. I don't know what it is about young adults. It's like the crack for them, but they love coffee shops. Spending time there, creating an atmosphere. Something that we did in our young adult ministry was, we used to do forced hangouts that nobody really wanted to go to. And so what would end up happening after our young adult service was that we would have a hangout that somebody would take the time to plan. And the most complaints we would get are, it costs too much money, I don't like the people that are going, and frankly, I don't want to go bowling every other week. So we're not going to do that. So a group of people would go that wanted to get connected, but then there would be a group of people that were already connected that wouldn't go. And so what that created in the culture was, well, those are the people that will never hang out with us, and here are the people that kind of have nobody else to hang out with, so we're going to hang out together. Instead of creating forced hangout, we ended up turning our meeting space into more of a cafe vibe. We had fresh food because, fresh baked food, because if you prepare a meal for a young adult, or if you prepare something that is kind of like, you put a little heart into it, young adults care a little bit more about that. They're like, oh, these aren't BJ's bought cookies, like this isn't Costco brand, like you actually put this in the oven for 12 minutes and took it out for me, and wow, and it's actually cheaper to buy stuff like that than it is to go and buy pre-made stuff every week if that's within your budget. And so what we began to do is we began to create a space where young adults wanted to gather. Young adults are the best people that can reach other young adults. So if you're not a young adult and you're thinking to yourself, well, how can I reach young adults if like young adults aren't going to come to me? Go to where they are. But when you have young adults in your midst that you can already get connected with, they become the best people to reach other young adults. Like Stephanie shared yesterday, there was that one girl that was in her building that she began to share Jesus with that came to faith. And when she came to faith, other people began to take notice and went, what is this about her? What's different here? And how can I be a part of that myself? She was able to use her influence and her impact to reach other young adults. The best way for you to reach young adults is to use other young adults. Go to where they are. Find out where they're gathering. What do they care about? You cannot lead if you're not present. And young adults, I heard this by somebody much smarter than me, and I may butcher it, so you can just Google the right quote. But somebody once said, people are not going to care how much you know until they know how much you care. You got to be in the proximity of young adults. Now, you already may have some young adults in your midst. You may have people that are already there. The second thing I want to talk about is you've got to put them to work. Simon Sinek, he's this guy, and he, I don't know his credentials, I just know he's a guy. And there's an interview that he has on YouTube. I think it's about like 11 to 15 minutes, depending on the video that you get. You can search it later. One of the things that he talks about, though, he talks about the culture that our millennial generation has been raised up in. And I don't want to exclusively focus on millennials during this talk, because millennials are getting older. Some of the oldest millennials are now like 35, like they're married or with kids. Like we do have to start to focus on Generation Z as well. And there's a whole other narrative that comes with Generation Z and the way that they think, the way that they utilize technology, the way that they live their lives that's so drastically different than the millennial culture, with some similarities. But he's talking particularly about millennials, and he says that millennials suck. basically. And what some of the things that we suck as millennials is we have a very unhealthy understanding of failure. Now, I remember when I was given an opportunity to lead at our church. It was a real opportunity to lead. And what I mean by that, it was a real opportunity to make mistakes. It was a real opportunity for me to feel the effect of my failure. But it was also a real opportunity for me to embrace the freedom that I had to actually make a decision. I've got some friends that serve in churches where they are given leadership opportunities and they're given leadership roles, yet they're given absolutely no freedom to do anything. They're shielded from all the types of failure that they can incur. And some of us know that some of our greatest understanding of who God is, some of our greatest leadership skills and our greatest assets have come through areas of failure. But a lot of the millennial generation now, we've been shielded from that failure. And so now when we step into positions where we can lead, we're so unprepared, like Claude was saying, because we don't have a healthy theology of failure. We're afraid of it. And so when you have young adults in your midst, give them real responsibility. Put them in charge of real things and let them feel the weight of, if they make a mistake, it could crash and burn. But that's okay because you're there to help them. You're there to help give them a healthier theology, a healthier understanding of what it means to fail, but to fail in a healthy way. Don't shield them. Don't protect them and say, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. Like, we'll take care of it. Yes, you're there as a support, but you're not always supposed to be there as a shield. I'm thankful for people that allow me to make mistakes, allow myself to look stupid. Jared could have fired me at least 35 times in a year, yet thankfully he didn't. But he allowed me the freedom to make mistakes. And what that did was it made me feel like I had real ownership to what I was doing. There were times where I knew that this was mine and not somebody else's. And something about young adults, whether you're a Gen Z or you're a millennial, you love being entitled. You love having ownership about stuff. You love knowing that this is yours and yours alone, especially if you have built it. And you know that when something is yours, you have the ability to ruin it. You have the ability to crush it. Creating an opportunity for them to really serve, for them to have real ownership, allowing them the freedom to make their decisions and guiding them, but at the same time not making decisions for them, not enforcing decisions for them, but giving them the freedom to do it is one of the healthiest ways to make them grow. And lastly, the thing that I want to talk to you about is being in the proximity of young adults is awesome. Giving them responsibility is awesome, but you can be doing both of those things and not discipling them whatsoever. Jesus did not settle for being in the proximity of his disciples. He did not settle for just giving them responsibility. He could have gave that to anybody, and he did give that to a lot of people, yet they did not turn out to be disciples of him. Jesus did not just stay in the midst of his people. He spent time with them. He gave his very life to them. He showed them how to do things. He gave them responsibility over those things. But he spent most of his time discipling them. Young adults need people to disciple them. They need people that are real. They need people that are authentic. A lot of young adults may not necessarily think that the church is a place full of perfect people, but they do think that the church is a place full of fake people. And the reason for that is because they know that people struggle with stuff, but they know that they keep it super, super superficial when they show up to church. Like, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Like, I'm struggling here and there, but God is faithful. Okay, how is he faithful? He's just good. What areas is he good? All the time he's good. And there are so many times that the young adults that are in my midst will stop me and go, you're not being authentic right now. Like, you're telling me that you're good, yet your feet are pointing away from me, knowing that you're not about to have a real conversation with me, that you're just trying to give me an answer to satisfy the little, social norm that we have by asking each other how we're doing. But there are some young adults that are in your midst that are hungry for real relationships. And in an age where we think that we are so connected through social media, we think that we are so connected through our different ways to send each other videos and things like that, we don't know how to interact with one another. We don't know how to sit in front of one another and have a real conversation. We don't know how to take criticism from one another. But some of you that are older, that are more seasoned, that are more mature, that have been discipled, you know what it's like to take criticism. You know what it's like to work through significant suffering. You know what it's like to work through trials. Most of us young adults don't know what it's like to do that. That's why we numb ourselves. That's why we distract ourselves. That's why we would either overwork ourselves so that we never sit still enough to hear God, or we will completely indulge and overdose ourselves with Netflix, with eating, and with mindless other stuff, because we don't have a healthy understanding and we don't have a healthy theology of working through some of those things. We need people that are willing to be authentic and vulnerable and real. Another part of discipleship that's so important is you are intentional with what you talk about. That's so essential, because young adults now, there's a study that went out, and you might find it incredible because I'm not giving you a name or a source because I can't remember it because my mind doesn't work that way. It's hard for me to remember scripture. Like I still struggle with Jesus wept most of the time. And so, but this study said that if people are predisposed to any mental disorders or mental illnesses, if the environment is right, most of that will surface when they are in their early 20s. And if the environment persists, it will remain with them for the rest of their lives. Now, for some young adults, especially if they've grown up in more ethnic families, the idea of having a mental illness or a mental disorder, the idea of having something that's wrong with them mentally is foreign to them. In my family, in an Indian culture, mental disorders don't exist. It's, no, back home, we didn't deal with stuff like that. There's no depression from where we're from. You're making it up. Or you're not strong enough to handle what you're going through right now. I've had conversations with people where their parents would refuse to take them to counseling because they said, back home, we don't deal with this kind of stuff. Get over it. Just get stronger. Just get tougher. Or on the flip side, some of us that come from more spiritual families, we over-spiritualize mental disorders. So we make them feel like the reason that they have some sort of mental illness, the reason that they may be feeling some of the things that they're feeling is their fault because they're not spiritual enough. And so we over-spiritualize things like anger and sadness and depression and say there's no room in the kingdom of God for these things. Yet when we look at the Psalms, most of David's life is a depressed life. And he is so emotionally healthy and he's so honest and self-aware with those things. Young adults need voices that can speak intentionally to them. When we talk about topics like sexuality, young adults don't just need to hear, this is wrong, this is bad, don't do it, this is what God's design is. How is it empty for us to find our sexuality, our identity in our sexuality? How is living with one another before we're married a killer of our intimacy? How is that a way where we can cheapen the grace and the beauty of a covenant that God wants us to have with another person? We need to hear those things because frankly, none of us have an understanding of that. Like what Stephanie said yesterday, if somebody asked her what the gospel was when she had just entered college, she would have had no idea. If somebody asked me what the gospel was when I was in high school, I would have said a type of music. And so we are so biblically illiterate. Like we may know knowledge, we may know biblical knowledge, but we don't know gospel application. We don't know gospel theology. We don't have a healthy understanding of things. And books will help us. Podcasts will help us. We've got great access to some great speakers, but a lot of the young adults in your midst may not need great speakers. They need somebody to disciple them. The people that led me to Jesus are no longer following Jesus, but the people that discipled me are still in this room. And that was so crucial for me. Like I can look to Jared right now and say, had he not taken the time to disciple me the moment that I entered in the kingdom of God, I don't know where I would be. Yeah. And lastly, there are some young adults that you may not even imagine doing the things that God is preparing them and calling them to do, just because they don't look the certain way that you would want them to. There's this one young adult that I've got that he is a nightmare most of the time. And I've said this to his face, so I feel comfortable saying this to you guys. He is a nightmare most of the time. But I remember our first couple of interactions would just be us sitting together in silence. And for somebody that is so, results driven, for somebody whose identity is so rooted in what people think of me, I used to think that my worth came from what I produced. So the more productive that I was, the more valuable that I was. And so I'm sitting with this person that doesn't really need me to help him with his life. He just needs somebody to be around him. I'm sitting there like, I'm not making any kind of difference. There's no fruit developing in this person's life because We're not talking about anything. Like, he's not growing in anything. Like, I ask him how he's doing spiritually, and I get the same answer every single time. What is happening? Well, 6 months of that go by. And we start having a conversation, and he says, now I really feel like that I can trust you. See, there's something about your presence that I just love being around. And when I'm anxious, when I'm lonely, when I'm sad, I know that I can just come to you, and just being around you makes me feel so much better. Have you ever had that moment with God where you're just like, God, I've got nothing to give you right now. I don't even have anything to ask of you. Right? I just want to be with you because your presence can satisfy something in me that nothing else can. And that is my timer. And so for some of you that are so result-driven, some of you that are so results-driven, discipling some young adults may be difficult for you because there are some young adults that work at an obnoxiously slow pace. Like, it is going to turn your stomach as to why this person can't get it sooner. But had somebody like Jared not taken the time to be patient with me, I don't know where I would be right now. There are some young adults that are in your midst that don't just need you to help them enter the kingdom, they need you to help them stay there. They need to be discipled. You can be in the presence of young adults, and that's amazing. Do that. Jesus didn't settle for proximity. You can give them responsibility. You can demonstrate that for them. Great. They need that. Jesus didn't settle for that either. Jesus gave his very life for his disciples, and he taught them to do the same, and he's asking us to do the same.